Australia's aged care system tells a shocking tale of neglect, according to an interim report from the Royal Commission.
Shocking cases of mistreatment have been uncovered so far, with the Commission demanding urgent action to support vulnerable Australians. Let's go live now to our political reporter, Eliza Edwards. Eliza, what are the key findings from the interim report?
Well, Laura and Pete, this report is really a damning indictment of Australia's aged care system, detailing the extent of neglect and abuse against the nation's most vulnerable and demanding a fundamental overhaul to the way the system is funded, regulated and handled more generally. Now, some of the key recommendations include calls for more home care packages to help Australians stay in their own homes for longer, reducing the use of chemical restraints, which the Commission says is overused and overprescribed and results in residents being sedated, as well as urgent work to stop the flow of younger Australians ending up with disability ending up in aged care. Now, Council on the Ageing boss Ian Yates says this confirms the need for a structural rethink of aged care so that older Australians and their families can regain trust and confidence in the system.
Our aged care system is not meeting the needs of enough older Australians and clearly is failing far too many. We need to turn the aged care system on its head, a phrase that Commissioner Briggs has used on a number of occasions, and that means we need to put it in the hands of consumers, but we also need government to invest heavily.
Now, the government says it's been shocked by the extent of the issues that have been exposed by these public hearings so far. And Aged Care Minister Richard Colbeck says it will prompt a policy rethink, but he wouldn't immediately commit to increasing those home care packages, despite the Commission saying that it's unacceptable that people are dying while waiting for these packages.
There are already more home care packages projected to come into the market. There needs to be some reform of the home care system and the way that it's delivered, and then obviously government's got some other considerations to make, because one of the three things that the Commission talked about as far as priorities was concerned was access to home care.
So it's a big task for the government now to reform this broken system, and next year's final report from the Royal Commission will provide a roadmap for how that must be done. Laura and Pete.